But I am not as nearly as optimistic.
In fact, I think we were closer to a number last night than we are this morning.
As the first furlough notices went out on Capitol Hill, Democrats accused Republicans today of holding up the spending deal over unrelated matters like abortion.
This is no longer about the budget deficit. It's about bumper stickers. It's about your favorite issue from years gone by.
Republicans argued it was Democrats blocking the deal by refusing to cut deeper.
The status quo is unacceptable.
Mr. Leader, you say that this all comes down to clean air and abortion, while the Speaker says, no, it's all about spending cuts. How can the two of you have such a different idea of what's going on in that room? Aren't you in there together?
The fact is, there are two things holding this up. One dealing with women's health and one dealing with another writer dealing with the Environmental Protection Agency.
So are you saying he's lying?
He can stretch things all he wants, but that, in fact, is the truth.
All those in favor say aye.
House Republicans raised the pressure this afternoon, passing a bill that would keep the government open for one more week and fund defense for the rest of the fiscal year.
If you vote against this bill, you are voting against the troops.
But they added $12 billion in cuts to the bill and an anti-abortion measure, knowing Democrats would kill the bill in the Senate.
For them to want to disguise their bad proposal by hiding behind our troops is really a disservice to our troops.
What separates negotiators at this 11th hour is roughly $7 billion in cuts, or just 0.2% of the 2011 budget. Beyond the money, they're haggling over ideology as Democrats try to strip out dozens of politically charged policy measures or riders that Republicans attached to the spending bill. We asked reporters around the country to explain the most contentious ones.
I'm Natasha Brown in Philadelphia at one of 820 Planned Parenthood centers around the country. Republicans want to cut $75 million in funding Planned Parenthood receives because abortions are performed at some of the centers. Democrats say the federal money goes toward birth control and gynecological exams, not abortion.
I'm Mary Bubala on the Chesapeake Bay watershed in Maryland. Republicans want to block about $40 million in funding to clean up this polluted waterway. They also want to roll back EPA limits on arsenic, mercury, and other toxic chemicals in the air and water. Regulations they say stifle economic growth.
I'm Jason DeRusha outside Minnesota's busiest emergency room. One of the sticking points is the president's health care law. Republicans want to block its funding, which they say is the next best thing to repeal. But Democrats argue that such a move would add to the deficit by $5.7 billion.
Administration officials preparing for a shutdown warned today that farm loans would be halted, as would mine safety inspections. Even the annual Cherry Blossom Parade in the nation's capital would be canceled. 13 high school bands, including the Fair Hope Alabama Pirates, are headed to D.C. anyway, after raising money for 2 years.
It was disappointing, but when you take trips like this, you got to be ready for anything, I guess.
What no one up here has addressed is whether the hundreds of thousands of federal workers facing furlough would get paid for the time they miss if members of Congress can't fulfill one of their most basic responsibilities and pass a budget. Harry?
Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill tonight. Thank you.